Shalom, Kol Holo, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Bahashem Akadash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers who are pushing the word of truth and its sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, to the Aqua that are listening, learn to be in a pillar of rest, the 144,000 and 1/3, the hopeful elect of Israel. The brother slash elder, Shalom and salutations to you all. This is the WW3 Daily Update. And this guy is speaking, Scott Ritter is speaking of something that they call the doubting Thomas and the Concepcion, which are names of a program that the Israelis use. See, the Israelis, they always use something like David's sling or the Samson option. They always try to use something biblical. So this is, they went from one way of doing things and they called it whatever, and then they switched to another way of doing things, and the way that they name these ways of doing things. This one's called the Doubting Thomas. So they moved from the Doubting Thomas to this new way of doing things called the Concepcion. So right now, Scott Ritter is explaining how the IDF does things under these program names, okay? And the main one he's talking about is a program called the Concepcion, right? Now he's going to explain what he's talking about. Then he goes into, now the main point that I want to point out what he's about to explain is what they were going to do to the Ayatollah. Because Trump said, "Oh, well, I told them not to assassinate you. I let you go." Remember that? Trump said, "I told them not to assassinate you. That's why you're still alive. For right now." He said some stupid shit. So remember that as we watch this and take it as this dialogue work 6 hours ago. That's Nima. Scott Ritter, Wake Up West, You're Dead about Iran. Take it. Concepcion.
To be a very senior Israeli chief of staff, I believe. But he was, the head of Amman in the end when I left was a guy named Amos Gilad. And Amos Gilad was more of an ideologue. And he's the one who moved away from the Doubting Thomas and reintroduced the Concepcion. Under Amos Gilad, Israel walked away from the fact-based assertions and assessments that it made in 1998 that Iraq was largely disarmed and posed no threat, to, by 2001, saying Iraq had reconstituted its weapons of mass destruction program and they had to be invaded so Saddam could be eliminated. Again, they went back to saying Saddam has to go. The Concepcion was back. And from that moment on, Israeli intelligence became horrifically politicized. And so now what you have is a situation where Israeli intelligence has bought into a model called the Nasrallah model. That is, if we just bomb them and kill their leadership, and then if we attack the intermediate, senior and intermediate layers of leadership, you'll get a collapse, is what they think they saw with Hezbollah. And so it's the Nasrallah model that was applied on David.
The Nasrallah model, if you understand who Nasrallah is, right? How they assassinated him. Now they're using that model. And that's what they were using. They're going to explain how that applies to the Ayatollah. Listen close.
And named Amos Gilad. And Amos Gilad was more of an ideologue. And he's the one who moved away from the Doubting Thomas and reintroduced the Concepcion. Under Amos Gilad, Israel walked away from the fact-based assertions and assessments that it made in 1998 that Iraq was largely disarmed and posed no threat, to, by 2001, saying Iraq had reconstituted its weapons of mass destruction program and they had to be invaded so Saddam could be eliminated. Again, they went back to saying Saddam has to go. The Concepcion was back. And from that moment on, Israeli intelligence became horrifically politicized. And so now what you have is a situation where Israeli intelligence has bought into a model called the Nasrallah model. That is, if we just bomb them and kill their leadership, and then if we attack the intermediate, senior and intermediate layers of leadership, you'll get a collapse, is what they think they saw with Hezbollah. And so it's the Nasrallah model that was applied on day one of this conflict. They admitted now, they tried to kill Ali Khamenei. They tried to kill him the first night, and they were hunting for him throughout. They just couldn't get eyes on target, but they did kill senior and intermediate level leadership. This was their goal. Their conception is that if they can eliminate this leadership, the system will collapse from within. And the United States has bought into this conception, this Israeli model. And so I think that's where we're at right now, where the United States and Israel are operating under this fundamentally flawed notion of that if you just take out certain elements, the whole system collapses. But what you don't get in the United States is an appreciation for a couple things. One, the role played by democracy in Iran. This isn't a dictatorship. This isn't Saddam Hussein or Bashar al-Assad. It's not the dictatorship of the supreme the supreme leader. The supreme leader has a very important role to play. A very important role to play. But even the supreme leader is bound by the Constitution and bound by, the supreme leader can be impeached, even though he's the supreme leader. The Assembly of Experts can remove him. And should the supreme leader act in a way that is in contravention to
It's time.
Slovakia. So, I mean, yeah, they have rules and they're not savages. And they consider themselves to be whiter than the whitest white, the Persians do. So, come on. You can say anything to a Babylonian and he's going to run with it. So, Slovakia. I'm trying to talk and chew bubblegum.
the will of the people, the parliament, the president, the guardian council, expediency council. If the supreme leader moves in a direction, that he can be and will be replaced.
It's a democracy.
Leader is a position, not a person. So even though you have a name to that position right now, Ali Khamenei, he's 90 plus years old. The Assembly of Experts has already picked his replacement. They know who it's going to be. And if you kill Ali Khamenei, they have that. And as soon as they pick a new one, it's their job to pick.
So what is Scott saying? Scott is saying this. The government knows all of this. They're just playing on the fact that the American people don't know a damn thing about how things are done in Iran. So you can say whatever you want. Oh, they're building a boat. They're the most dangerous, da-da-da-da. They've been doing this, 50 years, man. 50 straight years. So, it's bad. It's bad. But, see, this is part of the war, right? What is part of the war? Well, you have to have the American people's approval to go to war, right? Did they do that? No. So what do they have to do? They got to lie, obscure, make sure that news doesn't get them, and be able to control the narrative by controlling the news and not letting the news come out. All right? So when this guy breaks it down, what did we just hear? We heard the truth, right? Trump says he let the Ayatollah, I don't know how to spell Ayatollah, there it is, Ayatollah, live for now. All right. So here's the real. We just heard the real truth, but this is what. Oh, I let you. I talked him out of it. That's what he said. Let's see. Trump's call for surrender. Trump directly responds. Resuming without question. Trump Says, what? 10 days. Let's listen to an excerpt because he threatened, he said, I'll let you go. Trump threatens to kill and demands right. He basically said, let's see, 6 days. What is this? Let's listen to this. Let's see if we can. This is some news, BBC News. Let's see if I can catch him saying what he said, so we can analyze it and dissect it just a little, because it's very important as to what's going
on Iran for unconditional surrender. In a flurry of posts on his social media this afternoon, Donald Trump called Iran's supreme leader an easy target, but said that the US was not going to kill him, at least not yet. US fighter jets are understood to be on their way to the Middle East as speculation grows that the US could become directly involved in the war between Israel and Iran. Tonight, Donald Trump has met his national security team to decide America's next move. But first, here's Tom Bateman with the latest from Washington.
Donald Trump's nighttime dash back to Washington unleashed more uncertainty on a region at war and a frenzy of questions asked at 40,000 feet. First, what about French President Macron's remark about an Israel-Iran ceasefire plan?
We're looking at better than ceasefire. We're not looking for a ceasefire. I didn't say I was looking for a ceasefire. That was Emmanuel, nice guy, but he doesn't get it right too often. But we're not looking. We're looking for better than a ceasefire.
The president then turned to an ultimatum for Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, saying he was an easy target. We're not going.
We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. That is a lie. Because if they did know exactly where he was hiding, they would have killed him, which is what they're doing. A la the pagers situation, the walkie-talkies, the phones, right? What are they doing? That's their MO. Their modus operandi right now is to take down the leadership from the top. So what, they let him slide? No, they didn't. They couldn't find him. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. If you did, you couldn't get him. He is an easy target. That's not true, because the whole Palantir thing, what they were supposed to do, right? When they did that strike, the whole thing was they were supposed to take out all the leadership from the head. And they did a good job. They didn't get them all. They did a good job, right? But they didn't get Khomeini. Which means what? Means they failed. It means that they failed. And this is Trump trying to cover up the fact that they failed. You have to understand this, okay? They failed. They failed at squashing the nuclear program. They failed. They failed at this. This is what they tried to do. This is him saying, no, we didn't try to do it. I let you slide. No, you didn't. Stevie Wonder can clearly see this. He is an easy target, but he is safe there. We are not going to take him out this time because you couldn't, at least for now, because you couldn't. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. You see this? Now we understand it. So let's go back. All right, I just wanted to get that. Let me see. Is there more? Is there another one?
Take him out, kill, at least not for now, he posted. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. In another post, Mr. Trump said he expected unconditional surrender.
Well, here's what happened, okay? Here's what happened. Israel pulled some sneaky shit while Trump was over there holding talks, acting like, oh no, we're gonna work this thing. Israel used that opportunity to pull some sneaky, underhanded, foul shit on the sly, and what they did was this. They had in place a whole bunch of operatives in Iran working for Israel. And their job was to get the jump on Iran and take down their air defense, right, with these drones and other things that were already in place. They were supposed to get such an early jump on Iran that Iran wouldn't be able to recover, and therefore they would have been completely taken out. This is what was supposed to happen that didn't happen. Iran was supposed to be completely taken out. Their government, their military heads from the top, from the Ayatollah all the way down, those people in them slots were supposed to be completely taken out. Their military was supposed to be completely taken out from under their feet without them knowing it, that they couldn't respond at all. That's what was supposed to happen. And here's what did happen. Okay? All of that happened, but Iran was able to recover. Here's what happened that they're not telling. Israel pulled a real fast, sneaky, devilish, right, deceptive move that should have completely disabled Iran. But the Most High wasn't with that. He enabled Iran to recover. And it fucked up. It fucked every. Now that Iran has recovered, they were like this. Okay, all right. They reformed their military from the top. Got some people in, replaced the ones that did get killed, and they got straight busy with a bombing campaign that really hasn't stopped. That's what's really going on. Okay? That's the story that we're not being told. Okay? Now, here's more of that story that we're not being told. Okay? Let's go back. What is this? See, that's that BBC News. Let's go back to, where did we come from? We came from this.
Do you know what this is?
Slovakia. We came from Scott Ritter saying
Lifesaver.
what is
This
really,
is a-
what is really going on. Let's see. Let's hear Scott say that again. What really happened to Khomeini?
Fact-based analysis, and this worked through, Yuri Sergey, and then I forget the, and I can't remember who replaced him.
It's got to be
Sepsion under Amos Gilad,
16.
politicized, and so now, that is, if we just bomb them and kill their leadership, and then we attack the intermediate, senior and intermediate layers of leadership, you'll get a collapse, is what they think they saw with Hezbollah. And so it's the Nasrallah model that was applied on day one of this conflict. They admitted now, they tried to kill Ali Khamenei. They tried to kill him the first night, and they were hunting for him throughout. They just couldn't get eyes on target, but they did kill senior and intermediate level leadership. This was their goal. Their conception is that if they can eliminate this leadership, the system will collapse from within. And the United States has bought into this conception, this Israeli model. And so I think that's where we're at right now, where the United States and Israel are operating under this fundamentally flawed notion of that if you just take out certain elements, the whole system collapses. But
Okay, and that's what they tried to do. Okay, they tried to take out the top leadership, right, which they partially succeeded, but they failed. Okay, what is it? A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Okay, so they failed at that, right? And they really didn't, they also failed at rendering the Iranian military incapable of fighting back. That's what they tried to do. Okay? They had a strike in place, right, that failed. They tried to take out the military and render them incapable of recovering. And here's what happened. Iran recovered within like 12 hours. And right after that, they started launching wave after wave, right, of missile attacks, right? That wasn't ever supposed to happen because they were supposed to be taken out from the top and rendered incapable of launching a damn thing. So that didn't work. That was a failure. And because that was a failure, Israel lost this war. Okay? That's what's going on. So
What you don't get in the United States is an appreciation for a couple things. One, the role played by democracy in Iran. This isn't a dictatorship. This isn't Saddam Hussein or Bashar al-Assad. It's not the dictatorship of the supreme jurisprudence, the supreme leader. The supreme leader has a very important for something of that nature. This is the premium.
Well, I don't think he's going to say too much more, Dylan, but I think the point has been made. Let's get something on the way out. Where is it going? This is second Ezra's 15. Let's go here. I got to go for the pay dirt, y'all. Okay. We're right here. Second Ezra's 15 and 30, also the Carmanians, which are the Iranians, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. Who is them? The dragons, the Arabian nations. The Arabian nations. Iran is going to join battle with. Did they not do that? They did. With great power. And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. They're doing that right now. That includes over here. They're about to waste a portion of this land as well. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. So the Arabs are about to start whooping ass. I can see who is it? Hamas, Hezbollah, right? Since this Iranian thing, what happened to Iron Dome? Iron Dome was exhausted. Iron Dome was overwhelmed. What now? What if Hamas just started lobbing? What if Hezbollah started lobbing? We ain't got no more shells, do we? We ain't got no ammo. We called a timeout in a sneak attempt. We snuck you, and once you got back up and started whooping ass, we called a timeout. That's what's going on. All right. Then shall the dragons have the remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence to their power, and shall flee. They fled, didn't they? Wait, stop the war for a minute. Wait, time out. Ceasefire real quick. White flag, nigga. You weren't supposed to get back up and whoop that ass like you do. With that, we hope the elector edified you, brothers and few sisters. Shalom.